Hey, this is Rob Lachance from Wake. I play guitar. Well, with the whole COVID thing, it started directly after our newest record, Devouring Ruin, came out. It was quite a blow. Canceled multiple tours over the entire 2020 time period. It hurt in every way possible, from merch to album sales to just every aspect of the band. We had so much poured into that. We bought a new van. We'd sunk all of our chips into Devouring Ruin and expected 2020 to really, benefit us, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So we kind of regrouped and figured out, what exactly we can do, being stuck at home and no access to touring or anything like that, playing shows at all. So we decided to quickly write another record. We just wanted to make something new and refreshing. We wanted to step away from what we did on Devouring Ruin, because we've done that, we've said our part on that, but take that and build upon it and go with it and create something new. I think the biggest thing that you'll see from this Wake release is us kind of exposing ourselves to the different genres of music that we like and enjoy and what we're influenced by. Again, we don't run with any preconceived notions of what our music is supposed to sound like. There's no rules, there's no this part has to have a blast beat, or this part has to have crazy razor blade guitars or whatever. We just never stop. Like, the band has never stopped. In the 10 years that we've been together, we just keep going. We've tried to stop, we just can't. We come home from tour and it's everybody's bagged, everybody's tired, and it's we're gonna take some time off before we do anything again. And then 2 weeks later, Josh calls me on the phone and he's just like, let's start writing, or let's start working on this, let's start working on that, let's get going. We just can't sit still. Like, we never have been and we never will.
Josh. I play drums in Wake, and just getting drums started today. So basically just got tones for hours on end seemingly, and it's like 400 degrees in here right now, so that's very sick. I mean, winter time here with nothing else to do, it was like, whether or not we were gonna put out a record, we were gonna be jamming and playing music and doing that, because it's like the only outlet we really have in the winter time, or any time really, but especially in the winter time. The first couple songs came together, I don't want to say quick, but quick for us, I guess. I think Devouring was the record where we really narrowed in on how we write and how we want to write and what works and what we just don't even bother trying, and this was just like a kind of a sample of what's probably to come and what we were thinking about at the time. I've always been really into drummers that are really readily identifiable. Like, it doesn't have to be the craziest technician of all time or anything like that, but just drummers where you're like 3 seconds in, who's playing. And on Devouring, I started to do a lot of like tom blasts. Like, I'll be blasting on the snare and then I'll like move it over to the toms and just kind of like change the placement of where my hands are at. That wasn't something that I like really thought was like a signature thing at the time, but now that I've been, now that Devouring's been out for a year and I'm doing it again a lot on this record, it's like I kind of have been thinking like subconsciously, like that's the thing that I do a lot. And one thing I've learned while gaining experience in the studio is how hard I hit when it's like slow shit, and how much you need to overcompensate when you're playing blast beats. And like I've had to really try to like even that out, like play the blasts harder and play the rim shots a little quieter actually, so it sounds a little like mastered, like when I'm actually tracking, which is fucking hard to do, man. It really is. But yeah, I try to hit as hard as I can, usually, generally.
I'm Ryan. I play bass in Wake and synth and stuff. Me and the
rest of Wake have been fighting heat and surviving 30-degree days to make music. The lost art of having a rhythm section that isn't just drums in extreme music. I feel like there are definitely bands who do that, but I don't think it's the starting goal of a band to say okay, we're definitely going to make sure that we don't ever have the bass kind of do the same thing as the guitar or whatever. But I think the point of it is that you have to remember that when there's only 4 people playing, all 4 of them should definitely have something that is the specific driving force for the instrument itself. I mean, it's just like classical music. I mean, they don't have a quartet and have 4 violas. Nobody does that. They have 4 instruments, the 4 string instruments that play in harmony with each other. And I started to play stuff that was a little more outside of the realm of the kind of metal bass parts, and everybody in the band was really excited about it and said oh yes, we really want to do this. And they started writing their own parts that complemented each other. I mean, everybody loves riffs, and the riffs are a huge part of the band. But I think this time we were having so much fun playing with it that it was just something different. That we put into the craft of hearing a song that is something that makes you feel a certain way. I mean, I feel like that's more. The last record still had flashy riffing and lots of stuff where we wanted to play heavy metal, and this one I think we're really more focused on how do we make this song hit? That's not a hit, but how do we make it hit somebody? Get them to feel something and have a song with movement. So I hope that people are surprised just by the craft of the actual songs, but that's the best I can give you.
My name is Arjun Gill. I play guitar alongside Rob and Wake. Been starting to do a lot more leads, starting on Devouring and doing this one more so that I never did before, so it's kind of a different experience live doing that, and a little bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, it's gonna be fun to kind of do that and also incorporate a lot more clean guitar and stuff like that. Last night we were spending 4 or 5 hours on me just kind of messing around with leads and just improvising over stuff and just looping it and seeing what worked and just kind of messing around and seeing, oh well, what if we added this here, or what about that? And if we are down in the US and we're kind of on the clock and spending money to do that, we don't want to be messing around as much, but right now we're just yeah, let's just experiment. And I think it really helps with the creativity aspect and find some new and exciting kind of avenues that we haven't been down before because we had no time to try it in the past. I mean, it kind of feels like a continuation of Devouring Ruin in a way, but at the same time, it's different as in there's more extremes. It's fast, but it's also slower than it ever has been before. And I always talk about contrast and how you need to have slow to have the fast, otherwise the fast doesn't sound fast. We're really not sticking to any kind of genre boundaries or anything like that. We're just kind of playing whatever music comes to us, and hopefully people interpret that how they want to.
I'm Kyle. I'm the vocalist. Okay, so the album name Confluence, what confluence means is when 2 things come together, the merging of say 2 streams or whatever. The album art, I drew some influence from that specifically because what it is, it's it kind of depicts 2 different realities within one through a doorway or a window, sort of. So that's where I got Confluence from, and that also ties into the lyrical themes of the album as well. What the album is about, it's about exploring the boundaries of reality, altered states of consciousness, inhabiting those places, and then it crashing down upon you. But it's pretty much one streamlined story. It all flows into each other. I did write it a little bit more abstract than I normally write my stuff, just to go along with the lyrical themes, I guess. In my head, I thought that kind of matched, so. I've never done a ton of layering until we went to record Misery Rights. And then when we recorded with Dave, he really pushed me to do a lot of layering. He's fantastic with that. So yesterday coming in here, I kind of had it in my head as like, okay, I'm just going to experiment with it and just put all these different layers on it, because I've always been kind of like afraid to do it because I thought it was just, not going to sound right. But yesterday we were just like, screw it, we'll just go for it. And I tried to like emulate what Dave would do, I guess. And it turned out great. Like, it sounds awesome.
I think we should do maybe 3, like do 2. I'll do one in the same register and one in kind of a different register. Okay. My bad. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, that does sound cool though. I like how that sounds.
I think at this point, if people like us, they see that, from our very first album all the way up until this new stuff, everything's been different. It still sounds like Wake, but everything is so different. I think it's just the ever expanding sound of Wake.